Namaste.
Namaste, Namaste Guruji. Our topic is still anti-addiction, and we discuss a lot of capsules, remedies with different. We discussed with sound, we discussed with breath, we discussed with food, discussed with I don't know what is digital addiction. We discussed, yes. and um, and we came to the point that to treat any disease we need a glimpse of enlightenment. and and we come to the last time we come to the fear of every parent that their kid will get some addictions at school, and we bring the idea of education, how the education should be performed for kids not to have addiction. And we came to the idea that the purpose of any education is to give the goal and the purpose of life to the kid, to the child. And if the child has the purpose and meaning of life, then everything will be focused to get to this purpose and the goal. So
Yeah,
even the
now I
guy,
remember.
even the gadget can be the not the enemy, can be the friend to come to this purpose. So maybe we can speak a little about the educational system in your mind. I mean,
Yeah.
how to set up a goal, uh, how to treat kids, and how their mind changing in education system.
Yeah, got it. Yes, last time we stopped at this point when we
Mm-hmm.
started to talk about education system, and you asked me to get a reference from Gita or some one book, and I opposed this idea that it's not only one book, but we have to look as a whole completely. Because we can take support from any book, but we have to look as a whole, not thinking as a Hindu, Muslim, or this country, American, Indian, removing all these boundaries and think that we both are governing the whole planet. We are the boss. If we are the boss and we have to bring one education system to the whole planet, irrelevant to their upbringings, casteism, or religion. If we think this way, take a point of view like you are looking at this planet from another planet. So you are not attached at all with any religion, books, emotions. You are seeing it impartially. When we see this in this way, then vision becomes clear that a child is born, and what is a child? It's just the education. What he will learn, he will become. So in that learning, if a child is born, then the parents or the enlightened people or who are guiding the guardian, they call it guardian, it's the job of the guardian to recognize the limitations and potentiality of a child and provide an education system which can correct physical or mental deformity and help the person to grow. Because child is all curious to learn. For the child, everything is new. So in this newness, a child is every time enlightened. With every noun, he is learning. So child is fully open to learn. But then any education system, what child is enjoying is learning new things, exploring. interesting, and without any reward or punishment. Child is not interested to have, he is having reward itself when he's playfully exploring a phenomenon. So all the facility from a guardian point of view to the child is to facilitate an environment where child is playfully exploring the world, the knowledge. In another sense, also recognizing the potentiality. So if we give the freedom to the child to explore and not guide them, or the child will automatically find where his mind is setting. We could know the interest, and this is our system to keep on supporting the child. So an education system is a support to the child to let the child grow. Now there could be genetic defects. Genetically, there could be something in the mind which is a potentiality in the child to become a criminal. If we see the police point of view, then it says every 4 individual, one is a criminal. Means is thinking criminal. So police keeping an eye on internet this way with an idea that there must be a criminal mind. If the 4 people there, one will have a criminal mind. In this way, data. But we are not looking in this way. We are looking if the society is educated and rich only. If the society is not educated and rich, cannot support the child. We must have a society which is rich in resources. Then this child, if there is a genetic defect, you start to work on that. Or you judge that this boy is having a criminal mindset, we can turn it around, shaping it. Here we need an operant conditionings or classical conditionings this way, because we cannot just imagine that each child is getting born with the idea of enlightenment and spreading happiness in the world. So taking a normal point of view and the data, the collective data, some will be criminal minds, some will have engineering minds, will have different minds. So the first job of education system to analyze, be with the child and learn what child have as in potentiality and what are the defects. The possible defects can be changed and conditioned only. You need a conditioning, a system. And a natural flow, which is a gifted talent, that is being supported. So this is an education system as a whole. Now, if we study the education system like which is developing under the religion, if it is under the religion, they have their own purpose to expand their religion. It's a very common sense that if a school is funded by Christian missionary, it won't have a purpose to expand Hinduism. This is not the motto. This is not in their agenda. For sure, if Hindu will do its own school, and if it is traditional, for sure, it's to support the Hinduism and to expand the Hinduism. So our education system until now is tainted with a already biased mind that Hindu are the best, or Christian are the best, or Muslim are the best. And with this, keeping this as a bottom line undercurrent, the education system hidden. If we are ready to remove this, then we can talk globally. This education system question arises that in this kind of, who will fund? The government or the society or NGO or the parents? Who will fund this? Now, India has, let's see, India education system, ancient and the modern. If you look at the ancient education system of India, then it is funded by society, not by the government. Not by the government. The people in India did not give liberty to nation to educate their children. They took their own responsibility and managed the resources in a small field. So if a village is there, then the school is funded by village itself. The village is taking responsibility. 1 village, 2 village, 3 village, 4 village. They are taking responsibility to develop a Gurukul. And educated person who have been educated, lived his life on the wisdom, they are living there and connecting. That society is funding the Gurukul, whatsoever it has, a potato or tomato, somebody bringing food, somebody bricks, somebody pot, but it is donated to this. If this kind of education system, then the mind is fully free. And the guardian knows what this person will become. And education system also become under the caste and subcaste system. So if the parent or potter, then this knowledge is being given to the child as a potter, as a skill. The knowledge is being transferred. And the academic classical knowledge that was in Sanskrit, and that was only for the people they were managing, also funding by themselves and taking responsibility to bring money. So the people itself are generating money, funding, and trying to attract them. So their undercurrent is village is first, and to make this village self-sustainable was the first goal, bottom line. So whosoever funds the system, the bottom line goes to expand that source which is funding. That's the crux main here, things to understand to bring a universal education system, the fund. Who will fund that? Whosoever will fund, the source of funding will be perpetuated and strengthened so that the more funds should come. So in this scenario, if we see global scenario, who will fund? Facebook or Google? Facebook is too much interested. Why? Every organization will be interested to fund this education system because they are becoming assets to finance back to the same system who has funded. So Facebook will say, no, I want to bring an education system. Google will say, no, I. The government says, no, we will decide. Society is out of question. Society is not interested funding the education system. So if Google will, if Facebook will finance the education system and takes the responsibility as a guardian, then it will demand back. It knows that I will become invincible. So each organization which is intelligent and want to expand, always putting his maximum money to this education system, according to me. because bottom line remains mine.
Yes, one time I have discussion with one man, and his idea is that okay, especially in Europe, the oldest corporation, oldest which exist more than 1,000 years, is universities. So if you want your company to extend and grow for a long period of time, you should become a university in your company in order to extend in time, and this learning is endless and not based on assets, not based on money, based on educational model. Then the company should become a university. Every company which is growing and want to be stay for a long period, they should become like a university.
Yeah, this is the for this. That's the thing. No, whosoever finances and plays the role of a guardian becomes the bottom line. India, Hinduism started to shrink. Each religion expanded. Christianity expanded. Muslims expanded. And in Hinduism contracted. It was expanded all over, contracted. Why? Because uh, they stopped financing their education system. Even now, even in this scenario, it's not, Hinduism is not growing. Because there is no education system given. Only Christianity will grow. Because basic education system accepted by Christian countries and Christian mind. The bottom line is the Jesus. And bottom line is Bible. It's not so nobody will be forced, but it will remain. It will go in an unconscious learning. Children learn both ways. Conscious learning, which a guardian wants them to learn. But children don't learn conscious. They are learning unconsciously. More. So 90% learning is unconscious. 10% is conscious. The unconscious learning is observing environment, architecture, body language, arts, paintings, diagrams, stories. They are
Emotions.
all emotions. No, emotions attached more to this. Here, the consciously without emotion, you are making them focus to develop some skill, to make them fit in order that you should communicate and they should follow your order. This is also a bottom line of education system. As a guardian, that we give education in a way that children must follow us, listen us, and do whatever we want them to do. Unless and until all the scientists, psychologists, and educationists and the nations will come to a point that let's find a universal diagnosis method which can be applied to a human.
There is one Russian professor, he's working on mental sorting. Sorting means how to differentiate, yes, how to make a diagnosis of the skills of the person, and in order to find a genus, in order to find a genus. And said that, okay, one of the point is to create a very, very advanced MRI to scan the brain and to find which zone of the brain is more developed in this person in order to give him the proper education, because they already find that some of the zones of the brain in different people can be different like in 40 times. So, for example, the very good musician have the musical zone, which is 40 times bigger than this zone in Porto. And so this difference can be more than in average human and average monkey. So our brain zone is very different from one person to another, and um, in education, yes, to find out what is the purpose, what is the potentiality of kid is very important, because somebody can be very genius in something, but until he try to do this, then you cannot predict his
Yeah, this is one
skills.
of the diagnosis method. Very nice. But everyone should, this is, and we can find more diagnosis method. Like if you don't have this MRI scan and thing, then we make the children exposed to all this. Like bring the children to school and expose them to playground, music, mathematics, computer, everything, sociological way. So, and let children choose by themselves. The children choose by themselves the area which is synchronized. They can explore, and they can explore only that area where, like, if visual cortex is developed, then they will find that kind of strategic work where they can use their neurons and enjoy the exploration, go deep into it. And knowledge is interesting when it's penetrated. Otherwise, it's a flat thing, boring thing. Unless a child is interested to go deep and explore, the child will not enjoy, not learn anything. So make things interesting. You can choose by your own because maybe the need of the society, more doctors or need of the society is one way to train them the way you want the production as a factory.
Mhm.
Or another way to watch them and keep on supporting them. Like in some areas where MRIs cannot be done, or if government wants, it can make it available. But if any government wants it, it wants to remain permanently at the chair to rule. India also doing mistake again. We think if any country think that at the power with nuclear power or destructive power or intimidating others, they can protect their boundaries and they can remain intact. They are mistaken. They are mistaken because it's only done by education system, not by any power.
Yes, and in the Soviet time, the Russia was had a very advanced education system, and also expand, for example, in Africa through the education system. So the poor people from Africa sent their kids for free to Soviet Union to become a doctor, to become an engineer, and then when they come back, they are they providing the same ideas, and they become a very okay. In their society, they become very authorized, like gurus. because they have this education. The same now happens with the English language. And I want to ask, what is the idea of the language and education? Because now everybody is learning English, 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 and nothing else. And the idea is that if you know English, you can be the it's a must to learn English. But all this also is the source for English government to extend around it's a English empire, not the British empire, English language empire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that very clever people will first change the education system, not with guns first, because that's a responsibility to control so many people, put a lot of resources, make them intimidated. We always have to be more powerful and always intention to be like thrown back or revolt is possible if you use physical power. The education system, what you just said right now.
What is okay? Let's discuss the language and education
Yeah,
system.
language. So language and the brain is the same. The way the language you use, the grammar you use, the same way neurons will move. Like if you are using noun first, verb, and then putting adverb or something, a pronoun or something else. So the first thing you put and the way you connect the noun with action, with pronoun, with object, the same way your perception is depending on the language you are thinking. Your perception is dependent over the language we think. So English language is conventional. So here, subject is very much important maybe in all the language. And immediately after the subject, you need to tell about the time. So you think, you see the book, and the next idea, your mind will move in time, present, past, or future. And then action, and then the object, the effect. I am reading Bhagavad Gita. Here, I is the most important phenomenon. Immediately, time zone, present, past, future. Then the action. While other language, when I was in Finland, I was surprised. Because there I was surprised with the language that for us, like if I'm going to Tapovan. So it's one word, this Tapovan is not changing. What's changing? The other things. In Hindi language, subject and immediately the object. Not subject and not in time. Time is not coming. Subject, object, and then we go in the time zone of action. In English language, you see the subject and you immediately your mind moves in time zone. And then verb, and then object. Object is not so important. So when I was in Finland, I saw that they are changing the name of the place itself. So it's very difficult for the foreigner when I was there and I lost the way. So for I knew only one place where I want to go. But in the mind of the Finland people, the way you pronounce the place, it defines what you are going to do there. So their mind is fully different. Their mind is they think of the noun only with a purpose, what they are going to do. And so if they say that I will say I am going to market to buy vegetable, one action. I am going to market just to have fun, another way. I am going to market to study. So if I am changing my function, my purpose of visit, the market itself will change. Marketia, marketing, something will happen to the market itself, to the object itself, to the noun itself. So if a foreigner, if I am telling a word in the place, destination, these people are fully confused. If I say I'm going to market for swimming, the market word will change, which will say that I am going there for swimming already in the very first place. So I don't need to tell people what I'm going to do there. I will just change the name of the object. And that defines my action.
Okay.
The development of language and the way we think is our brain, the way we process. That's why I did not learn many language. I tell you frankly, I learned a little bit and then I say, no, I will not, because I want freedom. And freedom is that you can give importance to anything. That's your freedom. Then mind will be fully free.
And what about the Sanskrit?
You can put, yeah, that's why Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, you can make jumble. You can put object first, verb later, noun. You can jumble, but it's not changing. You have a freedom. So mind, perception becomes free, not a particular frame direction to perceive. You become free to perceive an object and free to think in all the ways. And you can choose to give importance to anything, either subject or verb or object or auxiliary verb or pronoun or relationship.
Yes, and the meaning is changing the meaning is changing where you put focus.
Yeah, you can change it. Like I am reading a book. So if I change it, reading a book will not make sense so much. Book, reading, I am.
That's why
they will say, what nonsense you are talking, non-educated. In Sanskrit, not. You can jumble up. So then it gives you in perception, you can choose to have freedom of the mind and focus and give importance to any one point to begin with. If I want to give importance to object, I will begin from the object. So I will put market first. And then I say, I am going. Then importance is, most important is, emphasis in the mind is the picture of the market. Market is more important. Because something happened. Where are we going? Say market. Means something has happened in the market. Market is asking attention, is more important. Then we put the first word. So in Sanskrit, when we read, we also read the sequence, because the writer has a choice of words to put any way the writer wants. Then we see which word he is putting first, where he wants to make emphasis upon. So the meaning becomes more clear and more accurate what the writer wants to say. And same thing, I can change the importance, and same sentence, same words, I can turn it around and I can say, no, I will give importance to this. So I say, market, I am going. And I will say, no, I am going to market. Here, I am important. My going is important. Market is not so important.
So language is also the core for part of any educational system.
Yeah, science will explore now because of the AI and the language combination this problem. If we will move towards universal education system and the perception ability of different nations, different people from different nations, how they are thinking, how they are perceiving, how they are making the map of the world for themselves. And that's why they feel different from other nations because language is different. So once this unification, if technology should develop and more programming, more artificial intelligence develop, so you can speak in Russian and I can listen in my language.
And artificial intelligence become a guru for kids, because I see the picture when there is no teacher in the class, only the one computer block, and the kids is speaking with them, asking the questions, receiving the answer. So it's like
Well, it's an instrument. No, like this AI is an instrument. When I use AI, I don't see what AI is capable of. Behind the creation, you can see the creator. So you can read the mind of the programmer very easily. Who is improvising? What is the bottom line of this education system, which is being introduced? Because bottom line will be there. Any education system given to you, the bottom line will be there. And you should be intelligent enough to discover it. What is the bottom line? Which is being fed unconsciously. So each AI I explored and I found the mindset of the program. It's not telling about AI, it's telling about the mindset of the programmers in their capability. So source is always important. AI is a tool. AI is a tool. But behind this AI, the bottom line supplied is the question. Behind this AI, who programmed this AI? Someone. And who guided this programmer to bring this bottom line? Person who funded it. Person who funded it. So all the fund is moving towards AI, and through this AI to immediately to education system, because whosoever wants to govern the planet, their AI should come in the market. Given a freedom to me, I will program completely different AI, fully different, so that it gives the mind complete freedom, non-biased, completely non-biased, full freedom of the mind, and 100% potentiality of the child will grow. That's how I was surprised with Sanskrit language and say, why like this? So Sanskrit is the language you can make like a dollar, everything converted in dollar and measured. So Sanskrit can be made as a center because it is fully free grammar, fully mathematics, and it can adjust with any language grammar because Sanskrit can change and remain its meaning, say, and jumbled up, can be changed, subject first, verb first, or object first, or pronoun first. Looking into this idea, and Sanskrit language can be written in formulas. The grammar, you can write a plus b is equal to whole square, then this, minus this exception. You can program it completely like mathematics. And through this, if you make one, unless you make a one conversion, please, and through this, Sanskrit has a freedom and a lot of meaning, synonymous. So it can adjust with any language in translation.
But I think we already discussed that the language of AI is already English. and it's the purpose because the investors is English speaking, and
Investor will understand it. It is not the country. We should be fully free. What is best from which country we should take. If you go with the biased mind, then we will what? Finish technology. Technology will become our enemy, and we will destroy it. This, we have to drop the ego. India has to drop its ego. What is best, you should take. And what is your best, you should give. So if you make a global platform where each country is giving their best, making it a unification one, but we need to go above our religion, country, and see its child as our own child. Doesn't matter where the child is born. Something will happen. Let's see education system. Let them all fight. We just know the law, and we observe. We are observer. We are the observer. We are observing.
There is a theory that our planet, the Earth, is alive, and it has its own brain and its own consciousness. It's called Gaia. Gaia is the ruling all the people, all the process on the planet is ruled by the consciousness of
if you see collectively or individually. If we see collectively, then this planet is an organism. And we, the livers, will become their blood vessels. And all the history, a human being born, coming, and born again, what they did to this planet, what they did to the body. Same like we study if bacteria, virus came into our body, what does it do? Same way Earth is studying these humans, what they are doing, which should be kept, or they are bacteria, or they are viruses, or they are supporting my system. So if any bacteria virus goes in our body and contaminates the flow of the blood, we should have some remedies to clean. Let this bacteria virus be anywhere else, but not in the blood. Kill them. Same way is being Earth is also treating. If we make the contamination, the water, the flow, the blood vessels, the veins, then it will clean. It will do something that the cause, the human which is causing the contamination, will go away. Or change the side. This Earth is intelligent, but everything functions with a law. So if you want to see the Earth as an organism, then we are just bacteria and viruses. Making colonies, like bacteria, viruses making colony. They need wherever they find food, they will make colonies and stay there. That's how we make colonies. Go to that river, we make colonies, and started to harness. In the beginning, it must be in symbiosis. If it is symbiosis, then it's very fine. Otherwise, Earth will keep it as a harmful bacteria or harmful virus and clean it. Without judgment, it will just clean it. In India, we developed like this, understood this mechanism, and so take the whole planet as a family, and live in symbiosis, not as a bacteria and viruses, which is only purpose to feed and expand the colony at the expense of resources. That's what we call bacteria and viruses. They start to grow and eat the resources, and only motor to expand their colonies, nothing else, and consume the resources first. That's bacteria, harmful bacteria and viruses. So Earth will take it. If you're just expanding the colony, without any return, the earth will wash it. You are a harmful bacteria. One tablet or something, earth will have its own way of cleaning system. So India developed in symbiosis, like trees are giving personality to nature. That way you start to connect as a human, and even greater than human. So you are always asking and taking only what you need as a prasad. Worship them and take. So it's the most developed mind, a divine lifestyle with such a profound understanding that each fragment is connected to another fragment, doesn't matter where it is. Distance doesn't matter. If we do something here, it will affect the whole planet. With this much wisdom and responsibility, India developed a culture, did something wrong, could not adjust with the changing world, and started to shrink and on the verge of disappearance.
Now I remember and I realized that in any education system for the kids, it should be the lesson of growing something and the lesson of connecting with pets, because this is the vegetables and the animals, a part of our universal system, and how to get connected with them and how to communicate with them. It's a very, very important part of education.
Yeah,
To
it's a good
realize that
beginning.
it's like a basement. I mean, because if now a lot of kids think that the bread is growing on the trees, so they don't realize.
Oh, yeah, yeah. First time when I was in my village and my younger brother, like I was at the time maybe 10 years old or 11, 10, around about 10 years, 8 to 10. So he must be around 6. So when I was in village, he came to the village first time. And I was in the garden of mangoes. I was protecting the mangoes so nobody should take. We have to, when mangoes grows, we need to protect it because other children, each one, if you are not watching, someone will come and pluck from your mango and protect their own mango trees. So, and we divide the time, 2 hours me, then 2 hours you protect. So I was there, and no one is allowed to pluck a single mango. We are counting this mango, this one in the brain. No memory of the branches and the tree and the shape and size of the mango. Special mangoes, they were like big mangoes. First time when he came, and he came to see me as a, like somebody bring your brother is there, and he saw, and he was so surprised and shout, "Look, mangoes on trees!" He started shouting and was fully exclaimed, "Mangoes on trees!" He never saw it. He was born in a city, lived in the city, and saw the mangoes only on the marketplace to buy and sell and eat. So, same way, Masha was also saying that growing as a children, they see meat and chicken. For them, it's like a fruit. There is nothing like a violence, not even a part of violence there. It's like fruit.
Yes,
So,
yes, and so this part is also important in education. I mean, to explain that we are the one with animals, with plants, with other people. Okay.
this idea came very late. No? The way science developed, it thought that we are completely isolated. We can do experiment something at this place. We can grow. We can use insecticide, pesticide. Okay, Or we can buy the land in another country and do all nonsense there. We will not be affected.
Or we can make meat out of seaweed, I think, or insects. From insect, they will create a powder which gives. Then they sell as a meat. So it's like
Idea is to have nutrition. If the country did not grow wheat and rice and other products, there's no only one nutrition meat. Cattle. But if the society will become rich, can find alternative. If society is not rich, cannot find alternative, and person will eat whatever cheaply and what is available there. If technology will grow and we will become rich in the sense that we can afford to have mango. Like Russia becomes so rich that it can afford a lot of mangoes in the market, like this way. So richness will give us alternate of food. And I tell you frankly, all intelligent people and who work too much in the brain, they are too much annoyed with the food. I tell you for myself, for me, food becomes an annoyance. Oh, I have to eat again. Oh, I have to eat again. Cannot be something very small where I don't have to chew. I just can take one tablet and relax about it. Don't need to.
Okay.
So if the technology will grow, it will develop food, which is needed for the person. The person is doing too much physical work. Yes, it needs a lot of fibers, vitamins, proteins.
But okay, what is the food? What should be the food in the school, in educational system? Because they always fight with this. What to
Complicated question, depending again. Again, it's a very complicated question. For the children, you should give food according to what they are doing.
They are learning, they are studying. What is the good food for studying? I don't know.
Science knows what is good, what vitamins we need for the brain. We can give brain food, we can give muscle food, and balance.
Okay, what is the brain food? I mean, if
brain food like sprout. Sprout is the brain food. No, it's more light, easily digested, and giving vitamins what our brain needs. So, just an example, like I will say, sprout is the brain food. Less protein, more carbohydrate, and more vitamins. And if the protein will increase, it becomes physical food.
And but in ancient time, or in traditional Indian educational system, what food? Okay, and food as a prasad for the kids. It's also important. I think this
That's
idea.
a different phenomenon. That's a culture, educational culture. The bottom line. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The bottom line. What you teach them doesn't matter. But if India will introduce an education system, then it will introduce this, that food as a prasad. The bottom line, depending on if it is from Christian, then before food, pray to the God, thanks for the bread and butter you provided. The bottom line, depending on the institution who is a guardian of the education system. So I would say we should form a universal educational research center where people can do research first. Don't apply on children so fast. Do bring some universal research about food, about physical, mental health, and who will teach, and what will become the bottom line. That's the fight. Hindu will say, India will say, bottom line is Sanskrit language, bottom line is giving personality to the forces of nature. bottom line to be respectful to food and taking it as a prasad. But if it is a non-believing in God country, then it is all nonsense.
Yeah, everything is dependent on the purpose of life,
The
purpose of education.
Planet is demanding universal nationality. First of all, people will start to have fight for universal nationality and then universal education.
And to expand, to make the universal, it should be a Shakti-orientated nation. Shakti, not the female energy should grow and
I will
cover.
say we should form a institution where each country is donating few people. These are the people who understand the bottom line from India. This from England, this from America, this from Russia. And they all should be brought together at one place first to do this research. Not should be given to one institution like Facebook and Google or Tesla or something like that. No.
Yes, and there is always fight between these big players, and it's a part of the game. I mean, it's
time is there, knowledge is globalizing. The global village, which started 20 years before, almost bringing together. We have started to think as a globe, as a village, because of fast transportation and communication. Let it grow more, it's demanding. Either, say, the earth also is an organism. If we will not listen, she will wash it. Well, otherwise, we are just bacteria and viruses. They will be washed off. If not, we must understand that the time and knowledge has to combine, time has come to think as a global village. And in the village, if you want to any important decision from each family, one person is coming. So each nation is giving. Don't fund all nation funding for research work.
okay. Okay, so today we touched anti-addiction. We start with anti-addiction, education.
Because
the
seed of addiction is there in education system. Yeah, the moment children will not explore themselves, will not find a right avenue to put their energy, and they are not learning playfully, exploring a phenomena, they will find some other addiction. So addiction is, if we are not providing the healthy food, then children going for bad food, because we are providing them. We have both, we are providing both. But if you don't provide the food, if there will be no vegetables in a country, how country will become vegetarian? So this addiction is the byproduct, where the moment child becomes disinterested, not exploring, not enjoying, and their cortex is different developed, and they are given different jobs to do where they cannot explore, then they find addiction. So that's why we are discussing about the core problem of addiction is in education system. And particularly for teenagers, young children. Children becoming addicted only because of the flaw in education system. That's why we discussed about it as a root cause.
Thank you very much.
Addiction in children.
Yes.